Brilliant. Oh, that shaft of light coming in is makes me feel quite holy. Okay, so I will allow you to start on your back this evening. We're going to start nice and chilled, and then we'll make our way up to standing throughout the work of the practice. So find a nice, comfortable position to lie down in. I might suggest actually that you start with the knees bent. Generally, that gives better support for the lower back, and it will just give us a little bit of time to find space in the body. Position the hands either side of the hips, palms turned up towards the ceiling. And before we get too comfortable, just draw the shoulder blades together, creating space across the chest. You might notice that additional lift in the lower back, so feel free to unclench the belly, to soften the lower back towards the floor. Remind yourself to soften the jaw, the cheeks, the chin, and the eyebrows, no frowning. Feel the soles of the feet resting against the mat. And if it gives you added comfort, by all means draw the knees together to create a little extra space through the back of the hips. Take a moment to feel the weight of your body rest against the floor as you bring your awareness to the breath. Remember that typically at the end of a day, the breath tends to be held in the top third of the lungs. So we're going to take this time to just slow the breath down, deepening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation, taking time to explore the full width at the back of the lungs. As we exhale, to feel the weight of the chest fully release. A sense of inhaling to expand and widen into the space that surrounds you. Exhaling to submit, to allow the weight of your body to ease into the floor. And to set an intention for quiet. For the next hour, we'll find some balance through the body and the breath. Continue to work with the breath, drawing the breath a little deeper now, feeling the belly rise on the inhale, allowing the belly to soften and release on the exhale. That widening and expanding on the breath in, that full softening and releasing on the breath out. On the next inhalation, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. On the exhalation, point the fingers down towards the heels, lengthening the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale again to draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale to lengthen the shoulders away, creating space at the top of the shoulders. On the next inhalation, lift the arms overhead. It might take 2 or 3 full breath rotations to allow the backs of the hands to come to the floor, making adjustments here to widen the arms, to bend the elbows. Do whatever you need to feel that space through the chest. Try not to hold tension in the middle back and the lower back. Exhale to release the belly and soften the weight of the back to the floor. Now on the next breath out, gently roll the right knee out to one side. So we're creating a little space to the inside of the right thigh. Wide and expand on the inhale. On the exhale, draw the tummy button in, roll that knee back to centre. As you come to the next exhalation, roll the left knee out. taking your time to allow gravity to drift the knee towards the floor, keeping the back of the hips square. Inhaling to widen through the chest, exhaling to engage the core and draw the knee back again to centre. Let's make a little adjustment with the arms now. Bring the hands to an interlock and let this interlock cradle the back of your head, so we're keeping the elbows wide, the full weight of the arms rested to the floor. On the next out breath, we're gently rolling both knees to the right side. Try to keep the back of the left hip towards the floor. There's a little lift here where you feel a little extra stretch to the side of the hip, the side of the thigh, into that left pectoral muscle. Inhale to widen from elbow to elbow. Exhale to engage the core. Roll the knees through centre and allow the knees to release down to the left side. Consider anywhere you feel tension. Notice any resistance in the body. Send the breath here. And as you exhale, engage the core, rolling the knees back again to centre. Now bring the soles of the feet together. On an exhale, widen both knees. So we're allowing the knees to drift wider, creating space into the inner thigh. Again, gravity is releasing the knees to the floor. Inhale to widen through the chest. On the exhale, lead with the right elbow, trying to keep the arms almost like sweeping against the floor as you draw that right elbow down towards the right knee, widening that left elbow. Exhale to engage the core. Inhale to return to centre. On the next out breath, lead with the left elbow. Again, we're keeping that right elbow wide. We're opening, exaggerating the stretch at the side of the chest. Inhaling, returning to centre. Exhaling, removing the hands from the back of the head, replacing the hands either side of the hips. Inhaling to squeeze the shoulders up again towards the ears. On the exhale now, turn the palms of the hands down towards the floor and draw the knees back towards one another. Reset the feet, hip-width distance apart. Let's keep the palms gently touching the floor, pushing down now into the soles of the feet as you inhale to lift your bottom from the mat. We want to take care here that the knees don't drift too far open. So focus on inhaling to press the shins forward, lifting the thighs higher, opening the belly towards the ceiling, lifting the sternum towards the chin. Inhale to lift the arms overhead, lengthening through the body, resting the backs of the hands to the floor. Then as you exhale, keep the arms extended as you gently roll down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Working through middle back, lower back, feeling again that little tightness at the side of the chest muscles, bringing the back of the hips to the floor. As you exhale, draw the right knee in towards the chest, placing the hands to the shin, gently rolling the lower back to the floor. Replace that right foot to the mat. Exhale to draw the left knee in. Again, gently rounding the lower back to the floor. Replace that left knee. Reposition the hands either side of the hips. This time the palms are turned up again, wide through the chest. On the out breath, draw the tummy button in. On the in breath, lift and lengthen through that right leg. And gently point and flex, mobilising the ankle. As we come to the next flexion, let's try to push a little more keenly through the heel, developing a deeper stretch to the back of the thigh. Inhaling to point, exhaling to flex. Taking a little tension away from the hamstring stretch, the core engaged as we lower that heel down so that both thighs are level, the knees are in alignment, and we'll use the right big toe to draw 3 circles in towards the midline of the body. Change direction, take those circles the opposite way. Keep that core engagement as we float that right heel down, resting the heel an inch from the floor. We're going to use the heel now, keeping the foot in flexion, to draw 3 wide circles, feeling that mobilisation all the way up to the hip socket. Change direction, take those circles the opposite way. Return again to hover that heel an inch from the floor. As you inhale now, point through that toe, lift the arms overhead. As you exhale, engage the core, draw the knee in, lift the chest up, come into a little crunch here, pause here, then inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, crunch up, drawing the chest towards the thigh. Be mindful not to nod the chin too far to the chest. Inhale, lengthen. 1/3 and final crunch here, keeping a little distance between the chin and the chest, the back of the neck soft. Then place the hands to the shin, gently roll down through the spine, bring the back of the head to rest on the floor, then replace that right foot to the mat. Palms once more turned up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the left leg. So again, we'll gently mobilise the ankle, pointing and flexing. As we come to the next exhalation, let's exaggerate that flexion, pressing through the heel, ironing out the little bend in the knee. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. Keep pressing through the heel, engage the core, float the heel down until the thighs are level. So the toe now is mobilising the ankle with those 3 circles, changing direction, taking the circles the opposite way, bringing the foot back to flexion, hovering the heel an inch from the floor. 3 wide circles here, all the way up into the hip socket, changing direction, taking those circles the opposite way. Hover the heel an inch from the floor. Inhale to point that toe, lengthen, bringing the arms overhead. Exhale, come into a little crunch on this side. So you want to feel the action in the core. We don't want any tension in the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, crunch. Hold the posture, not the breath. Inhale, lengthen back. Exhale, our 3rd and final crunch on this side. Then place the hands once more to the shin. We're holding that little bit of tension as we gently roll down through the spine, bringing the back of the head to rest. Let's draw the right knee in, so both knees in towards the chest, allowing a little space now through the back of the hips as you gently roll from one hip to the other. Now return to centre, simply placing the hands on the knees. We're back to mobilising the hip joints by drawing circles with the knees, taking the knees apart, then changing direction, drawing the knees together and widening. As you bring the knees back to centre, gently hug the knees in one more time, allowing the small of the back to release to the floor. Your choice whether you position the hands underneath the bottom for a little extra support in the lower back, or if you prefer, bring the hands either side of the hips, press through the heels. Allow for a little gap between the feet. So the soles of the feet are again in flexion. We're pressing through the heels. We're encouraging that extra length to the back of the hamstring, but we want to remain soft in the upper body. So keep the shoulder blades drawn together. Keep the shoulders relaxed back and down. Unclench the jaw. Take a moment now to bend the right knee, keeping the left leg pointing straight up. When we come into that right knee 90-degree angle, let's make sure the foot is in flexion. As you exhale, engage the core, press that heel forward, bring that heel to an inch from the floor. Wide through the chest, drawing the tummy button in. Inhale to widen, exhale to engage the core, bend that knee and draw the right knee in again. Let's press that right heel up towards the ceiling, back to that supine Dandasana. Then we'll bend the left knee, keeping the right leg straight up. Wide through the chest, engaged in the core. On the out breath, press the left heel forward and down. Pausing that heel an inch from the mat. Keep pressing through the right heel. Wide through the chest, engaged in the core. As you come to the next out breath, bend that left knee up, straighten that leg, then hug both knees in towards the chest. Take the arms out to make a T shape. On your out breath, roll both knees to the right side. Take your gaze over the left arm. Try to keep the back of the shoulders relaxed to the floor. As you inhale, visualize widening from fingertip to fingertip. As you exhale, draw the tummy button in, roll through center. Draw the knees to the left side. Take your gaze over the right arm. Wide through the chest, relaxed through the shoulders. Nice and easy does it. On the out breath, engage the core, roll the knees back through center. Let's bring the hands to the back of the thighs, engage the core and roll yourself up into a boat position. So rather than allowing the feet to come to the floor, let's remain lifted and lengthened out of the sit bones. We can have the hands behind the thighs, keep the shoulders rolled back and down. Perfect. So this might feel perfectly supported. You might be happy in this position. If you want to take this a little further, challenge yourself a little, you can bring the hands away from behind the thighs and just effectively have the hands above the knees, rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting through the sternum, avoiding rolling onto the tailbone. Inhale to lift the arms overhead. Keep that lift in the sternum, avoid the curve in the spine. As you exhale, widen the arms, palms turned up towards the ceiling. Inhale again to lift the arms overhead, bringing them now to an Anjali Mudra, pressing through the fingertips, ears between the upper arms. Then on the out breath, bring the hands back to heart. Keep that lovely lift. As you exhale, we're going to take hold of the knees, lift, hinge forward. Bring the soles of the feet together. First action is to lift and lengthen. Second action is to soften the knees out to the side. We do this gently without pulsing, just creating a little space. Try to bring the soles of the feet together. Hands can either be on the ankles or the toes, as is comfortable to you. Lift and lengthen as you exhale, hinge. And let's just bring the upper body forward to that space between the thighs. Keep rolling the shoulders back and down. Every out breath, just exploring a little deeper into this fold. Wide through the chest on the inhale. On the exhale, draw the tummy button in. Inhale to lift back to center. Extend the right leg open. Bring the sole of the left foot into the inner thigh. Try to keep that right toe pointing up towards the ceiling. always allowing for a little tolerance behind the knee. Place the hands in front of the ankle. Inhale to lift. As you exhale, explore again that sense of easing forward. We've transferred the stretch now into inner thigh, little bit into the back of the thigh. And rather than walking the hands forward, which might in turn lift the shoulders, think about drawing the elbows towards the floor so you're resting into the forearms. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together. In an ideal world, that right sit bone will be on the floor. Oh, we've all drifted to one side. Push into the palms, bring the gaze to the end of the fingertips, walk the hands back towards center. Let's do the same with the opposite leg. So left foot wide, sole of the foot to the inside of the thigh, lift up and lengthen. Then as you exhale, we're just exploring the space we have to give on this leg. So it's not unusual that we are more flexible on one side than the other. So work with the space that you have, never push through mild discomfort. And keep allowing that little bit of a tolerance behind the knee. Pushing into the palms of the hands, keeping the sternum lifted, walking the hands back again towards center. Let's take both feet wide. A gentle lift behind the knees. That active turning the toes up towards the ceiling. Lifting and lengthening out of the sit bones, placing the hands to the floor, bringing the forearms towards the floor, keeping a track of what's going on in the upper back, ideally leading with the sternum, so that we keep that lovely diagonal line from the back of the head to the tailbone as we deepen into this fold. Bring the gaze to the end of the fingertips, push into the palms, engage the core, gently unhinge as we lift back to center. Perfect. Slide the feet together. We'll just give the feet a little bit of a wiggle here. And then I'm going to get you to come into an all fours position. So knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, elbows nice and soft. Let's take the right foot back, turn the toe under, pressing the heel towards the floor. Keep wide through the chest, lifted in the belly, lengthen through the spine as we ease that stretch into the calf, into the ankle. Then bring that right knee in, take the opposite foot back. Let's do the same action, easing the heel towards the floor. Then bring that knee back in. Let's lower down for a moment onto the forearms. Take a moment to step both feet back. Then I want you to hover the shoulders over the elbows, slide the tips of the thumbs together, create a diagonal line from the back of the head to the heels as we hold the body weight in this half plank position. Inhale to widen through the chest. As you exhale, you can bring thighs, belly, chest to the floor. Elbows either side of the chest, palms either side of the head. Notice that in this posture, we tend to lift the bottom up. So let's almost imagine we're pushing the hips and the thighs to the floor, pushing into the forearms, inhaling to lift the chest. This will give us much more clearance through the lower back. Then turn and look over one shoulder. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to look over the other shoulder. Inhale again to look forward. On the out breath, we're lowering down. We're just going to sneak that left hand underneath the forehead. Bring the forehead to rest. Draw the right heel in, take hold of that ankle, make sure we don't pull the heel out, so line the heel up above the right sit bone, push into that right thigh, push into the left thigh, press into that left forearm, Inhale to lift the chest, deepening the stretch through the front of the thigh into the hip flexor. Perhaps a little bit of action there in the upper thoracic spine. As you exhale, allow the forehead to rest, bring the right foot to the floor. Simple switch over as we bring right hand under the forehead, left heel in. Set up your alignment first, so heel above the sit bone. Make an effort here to unclench the buttocks. So the activity here is on pushing into the thighs, lifting the chest, pressing away from that forearm, lengthening the spine and toggling the heel a little bit closer to the bottom, deepening the stretch into the thigh, into the hip flexor. Then when you're ready, soften, release that foot to the floor. Bring the forehead back onto both hands stacked one on top of the other. So the elbows are turned out, the forehead is rested. Once more, unclench the buttocks and just take a moment to gently roll the forehead over the hands, releasing any tension in the neck. As you come back to center, we'll keep the forehead in place as we extend the arms forward. We're pressing the palms as far forward as we can reach, pushing into the palms, lifting the elbows from the mat, pressing the thighs to the floor, lifting the chest, coming into seal pose. Try to keep those shoulders wrapped back and round, so all of the action is in the sternum, in the upper thoracic spine. Unclench the buttocks, then replace the forehead to the floor. Your choice whether you repeat Sphinx pose, or if you wish, you can bring the hands either side of the chest, wrapping the elbows in around the rib cage, keeping once more the thighs pressed into the mat as you inhale to lift, come into cobra pose. Gently nod the chin to the chest. Then mindfully, as you lift the gaze, extend the sternum forward and take your gaze up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, release. Bring the full weight of your upper body to the floor. We've got those palms either side of the chest. So we're going to press into the palms, lift up into all fours once more. Reset the knees underneath the hips, wrists under shoulders, elbows nice and soft. Turn both toes under. Exhale, draw the tummy button in, roll up through the spine. Really consider lifting from that space in the lower back, tucking the tailbone under, nodding the chin to the chest. Then inhaling to bring the shape the opposite way, lifting the sternum forward. Exhaling, rolling up, tucking the tailbone under, lifting the lower back, rounding the spine. Inhaling, almost as though you're bringing the belly towards the floor, lifting the sternum, lifting the tailbone. Beautiful, gentle back bend here. Return again to a neutral spine position, all fours position. Very subtle movement here. We're just shifting the hips to the right, bringing the hips to center, then shifting the hips to the left. Returning again to center and making a little figure of 8 shape with the hips. So we travel right, we travel left, and we add a little bit of a flourish as we come through center over the heels, pressing away from the hands, then bringing yourself back to that all fours position. So we're going to keep the wrists underneath the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Important that the elbows are soft. Turn both toes under, lift the knees, come into a full plank. So ideally the back of the head will line up with the heels. We create a diagonal line here.
So avoid too much lift in the bottom, avoid bringing the thighs to the floor. Let's hold that diagonal line. We're not in a rush to come out of this. So we're going to lower the right knee, bring that knee back to center, lower the left knee, bring that knee back, then lower both knees, fold the elbows back as you bring the chest and the chin to the floor, bottom is up. Pause for a moment in this Ashtanga Namaskar, then inhale, lift the chest in Cobra, exhale, push back into Child's Pose. In our Child's Pose, palms pressed to the floor, exhale to push the sit bones towards the heels. Feel the ears between the upper arms. Work with the breath to find the space that you need. Under the armpits, side of the rib cage. On the next inhalation, lift the fingertips, press the wrists to the floor. Slightly changes the emphasis of the posture. Then replace the palms to the mat. Lift back up into an all fours position. Spread the fingers. I'm mindful that I'm just going to do a couple of downward facing dog postures here. So those of you who prefer to be on forearms, now would be a good time to come into this position. If you prefer, we'll take it from all fours, turning the toes under. First action is simply to lift the knees, keeping the knees bent. So we're not coming into a down dog. We're walking the heels in, keeping the knees bent, almost like trying to touch the tailbone down towards the heels. Lovely length through the spine, little lift now in the tailbone, diagonal line from the back of the head. Then gently ease down onto the shins, sit back on the heels, reposition the hands either side of the ankles, and let the forehead drift forward to where it will. It might not come to the mat, that's not the intention of the posture. It's just to give full release through the shoulders, drawing little circles with the wrists, letting go of any potential tension there. As you return, come up into an all fours position. For the purposes of the camera, I'm going to do this back to front. So I'm going to bring the left foot forward. We're going to come into a lunge on this side. So I'm starting with a 90-degree angle at the right knee. I want to travel forward into the left knee. So the left knee becomes 90 degrees and become a nice open, obtuse angle on this hip flexor. Bring the hands in front of the heart. Try to make sure that left knee doesn't drift too wide. So maybe we have a picture of lining it up over the second toe. From your Anjali Mudra at heart space, start to lift the arms overhead. Now we want to adjust to feel the ears between the upper arms. So a little bit of activity here to draw the upper arms up. Keep sinking your upper body weight down towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, look up to the thumbs. Encourage a little extra release through the spine. Then as you exhale, hinge forward. Replace both palms to the mat. Turn the back toe under. Lift the back knee up. Generally, this is going to feel quite stretched out. So let's bounce the back foot in until you can get that heel to the floor. Bring the hands in front of that left shin, keeping that 90-degree angle on that left knee. Push into the sole of the foot. Inhale to lift. So we're nicely in a 90-degree angle on the front knee. I always prefer to have my back foot or my back heel on the floor for stability. You might notice your heel is lifted. Just be mindful that can knock you off balance. Inhale to lift the arms overhead, ears between the upper arms again. Then as you exhale, again we'll hinge forward, but this time we're just going to travel the right hand down to the floor. We're going to turn the belly in towards that left thigh. At this moment, I prefer to lift the back heel, then extend the left arm up, come into this twisted lunge position. As you exhale, replace that palm to the floor, strike the left foot back. Let's come into a plank posture here, wide through the chest, controlled, then lower down, knees, chest, chin, elbows in, bottoms up. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, turn the toes under, push up, downward facing dog. Keep pressing the sit bones to the back of the room. A reminder, you might prefer to do this on forearms, lifting the tailbone, really leaning into that space at the back of the hamstrings. Then on the out breath, sink onto the shins, knees back to the heels. Find that restful position again in child's pose. And if you need to, little mobilization for the wrists again, just to resolve any tension there. So hearts will be beating a little faster now. So let's make sure that we keep the breath steady. Inhale to cool down, exhale to release and relax. Come back up into your all fours position. We're going to take that sequence on the opposite side. So this time I'm bringing the right foot forward. Set up as before. That right knee is a little further back from the heel. Make sure that the toes are spread on the front foot. As you exhale, ease into the full lunge. So we're enjoying that 90-degree angle. We're not overdoing it. Bringing the hands to an Anjali Mudra at the heart space. Inhale to lift the arms up overhead, looking up to the thumbs, reaching, opening through the heart space. As you exhale, hinge, release forward. Bring both palms to the floor. Lift that back knee. Bounce the back foot in if that feels better for you. Remember, this one feels a bit like balance, so make sure you're secure. Bring the hands in front of the Anjali Mudra in front of the shin, shoulders drawn back and down. Push into the soles of the feet, lift up. 90-degree angle on the front knee. So it might again feel like you're traveling a little. Keep the shoulders stacked above the hips. Try not to lean forward. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, opening the heart space again towards the sky. Then as you exhale, hinging forward, left palm to the floor, turning the belly in, right arm straight up. Think about your next exhalation, rotating through the side of the ribcage, deepening that twist, really exaggerating that stretch to the outside of the hip. Then once more, replace that palm to the floor. Strike the right foot back, come into plank, lower down, knees, chest and chin, bottom is up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn the toes under, push up into downward facing dog. Let's bring the breath control back here. 3 further full breath rotations. Last full breath rotation. Then as you exhale, bend the knees, sit back on the heels. Let's try a variation, stacking one fist on top of the other, bringing the forehead to rest, lining up each of the vertebrae from the back of the neck all the way down to the tailbone. Imagine you can breathe space between each individual vertebra here. Encourage that expansion through the back of the rib cage. Widening and expanding on the inhale. On the exhale, soften the hands. Bring the forehead to fully rest forward. Reposition the hands under the shoulders. Push down into the palms. Lifting up one more time into an all fours position. This time we're going to take the knees wide. So we're taking the knees to the edge of your mat, keeping the tips of the toes together. We want to quiet the shoulders down now. They've done quite a lot of work. So bring the elbows to the floor, rest onto the forearms, bringing the tips of the thumbs together. As you exhale, push the sit bones back towards the heels. This might be a more comfortable variation of child's pose, allowing the weight of your upper body to rest down between that space you've created between the thighs. Then push down again into the forearms. Inhale to lift up. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders again. Turn the toes under. Walk or jump the feet forward. Your choice whether the heels are down or up. And I say choice, it's not really a choice, it's the way that your body is made. I'm going to turn and face like a little frog. For those of us who have got heels down, can we please join everyone else in coming up onto the balls of the feet, in which case the knees want to become a little closer. Bring the hands in front of the heart space. We're just going to take a moment here, finding center. Oh, sorry, Denise, your knees are complaining. Bless you. Not one for those with faint-hearted knees, I accept. So we're going to keep the heels up. We've found that lovely plumb line, that source of center. So we're going to keep that balance, keep that center, keep the heels lifted as we push into the soles of the feet. Keep the heels lifted. I'm trying to be in the camera, I'm off. Lift the arms up overhead. Keep the heels lifted. Exhale, engage the core. Slowly soften the knees. Lower, back down. Beautiful. Well done, Rosina. You fell forward instead of back. Keep the heels lifted. Push down into the balls of the feet. Lift, lift, lift. Lengthen the arms overhead. Beautiful focus. Love it. Then on the exhale, slowly again. Coming back into that squat position. Perfect. Love it. Now replace the palms to the floor. We're going to lift the bottom up, step the feet wider, bring the insides of the feet parallel, toes turned forward. So we've kind of come into a forward fold here, but we've done ourselves a bit of a favour because we've done it from the ground. I want you to walk the hands forward until you can get the palms flat to the floor, until you can straighten the legs. Obviously, we always allow for that little bend in the knees. Inhaling to lift the tailbone. Perhaps again finding that space of the upper ears between the upper arms. It's a sense of pushing the sit bones back, lengthening the spine. It's almost as though you want to lift your hands from the floor, but you know you need them to keep your balance. Then bring your gaze forward, look to the end of your fingertips. Gently heel toe the feet a little bit wider. So we need the feet to be a little bit more a little wider so that we can find space to the inner thigh instead of the hamstring. So we're just going to play about with how this feels to bring the forearms towards the floor. So it might be that you can just get your elbows down and the head lifted. It might be that you can bring the back of the head to the floor. But we don't want to get to a position where you feel all your upper body weight is forward. So keep pushing your sit bones to the back of the room and just finding that little bit of challenge in the inner thighs, mild discomfort. Then when you're ready, push into the forearms, back again to those lengthened arms, bringing the gaze to the end of the fingertips. It might be that you need to walk the hands under the shoulders to feel stable. It's also a good idea to heel toe the feet a little closer together again. Rather than the insides of the feet being parallel this time, let's turn the toes out, bring the hands onto the thighs, keep looking down at the floor, and then have a picture of simply unhinging here. So you're lifting the shoulders, coming up to a standing position. So we've nicely turned the knees out, which means that when we now take a squat posture, we can roll the knees out over the second toes, coming into a goddess pose. Inhale, lift up. Let's add goddess arms. So goddess arms are a bit like a cactus, elbows in line with the shoulders, palms facing forward. Roll the knees out, come into the squat. I like to do a little lift with an Anjali Mudra overhead when we straighten. And this time on the exhale, stick the tongue out. Tell me what you feel. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. On this one, hold the posture. Shoulder blades drawn together, sternum lifted, core engaged, tucking the tailbone under, lifting the kneecaps, rolling the thighs out. Keep those elbows high, don't want to see them drifting. Nice and active in the upper body, engaged in the core, spreading those inner thighs. On the next out breath, bring the hands to the hips. On the next in breath, push into the soles of the feet. On the next out breath, engage the core, jump the feet together. Beautiful. Now I'm going to stand side on. We're going to find our Tadasana position. So back of the head lined up with the heels, plumb line straight through the body. Hands can remain on hips. As you exhale, hinge forward. Come into a 90-degree angle. Push the sit bones to the back of the room. Keep the shoulders parallel to the floor. Those of you with lovely long hamstrings, this feels delicious. We have worked quite extensively in this area this evening, so actually it's probably feeling a little bit easier for most people than it normally would. Let's keep pushing the sit bones to the back of the room, drawing the shoulder blades together. Now we're simply going to come up onto the ball of the right foot, so lift that heel, then press that heel to the floor, bending the left knee now to lift the left heel, then replace that foot to the floor. Let's do that little transition again. So right to left, to right, to left. Two more. Last one. Beautiful. Both heels to the floor. Press the sit bones to the back of the room. Lift the tailbone. Try to keep the shoulders in line with the hips, i.e. don't drop the head. As you extend both arms forward, press through the fingertips. Keep lifting the tailbone, opening out through the backs of the thighs. We'll hold this but not the breath for a count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. On the exhale, lower the arms, wrap the hands around the elbows. We're bringing the forearms parallel to the floor. Most of us will prefer a little soft bend in the knee. On the out breath, bring the belly to the thighs, forearms parallel to the floor, tuck the chin under, ears between the upper arms. And if it feels natural to you, a little gentle sway through the back of the waist might be nice over the lower back. Return again to center. Bring the palms onto the thighs. Draw the shoulder blades together. Push down into the soles of the feet. On the inhale, the first action is simply to unhinge, so lift the shoulders. On the exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. On the next inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Try to keep those thighs pressed back. As you inhale to lift the sternum, exhale to release the upper spine. Watch those thighs, watch that pelvis. Then on and out breath, bring the hands back to an Anjali Mudra and find a nice quiet Tadasana. So take a moment to close the eyes. And if it feels tight or unnatural for you to hold your hand in an Anjali Mudra, by all means just bring the hands either side of the hips. We don't want any activity here. We want to feel soft, releasing the weight in the shoulders. The places that might feel switched on are the fronts of the thighs, the core, but the buttocks, the shoulders, the jaw should definitely be very quiet. Keep your eyes closed as you inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. As you exhale, shrug the shoulders away. Inhale to squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale to roll the shoulders back and down. You can start to blink the eyes open now as we turn those shoulder rolls a little more exaggerated. Bringing the hands now on top of the shoulders, using the elbows to draw those circles. So we're really exaggerating through the chest, through the collarbones. Beautiful. Let your arms come down by your side. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Didn't know my right from my left there. So we're going to swing that right arm forward and just create lazy circles coming forward. Now we're going to bring the left arm up and we're going to take those circles back. So one arm is traveling forward, the other arm is traveling back. We're careful not to lock out the knees. And then we're going to change direction, opposite way. Try not to move the hips. Let's try and keep this all centered into the shoulders. Try not to hold the breath. Then bring the arms back down by your side. Inhale to shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, let them go. Give the wrists a little shake. Give the ankles a little shake. And then when you feel ready, you can find a comfortable Shavasana position. So seated, laying down, or legs up the wall, whatever floats your boat. So I'd like you, as you come into your Shavasana position, to just notice the pace of your heart, the pace of your breathing, and notice the temperature of your body. So although we didn't necessarily move quickly through those postures, we worked very hard on engaging the larger muscle groups. So clearly the blood is pumping to those areas, which is what's making the heart beat faster and why we feel a little warmer. So bring your awareness again to the breath, acknowledging that that cool air on the inhale will serve to cool the body down. That warm exhalation will send a message to those major muscle groups that we've been working with this evening, that they can stand down. This is now our time to rest and digest. That we can lean into the parasympathetic system. No need for fight or flight. This is your time to recenter, to recalibrate. To enjoy the sense of the body and the breath merging. To enjoy the sense of letting go. Now, as you bring the body, the breath, into a slower, more comfortable pace, invite the mind to follow. This is your permission to switch off from your to-do list. There's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to do. Your task in hand is simply to stay here in this moment. We talked at the top of the session about being mindful and being respectful. Respect the time that you've created for yourself. And show yourself some gratitude. Gratitude for the body you're in. Gratitude for your frame of mind right now. Gratitude for all of the animals that I can see crawling over each of you right now. And gratitude for some sunshine at last. Feel the warmth of that sunshine on your skin. Feel yourself soaking up those golden rays. Feel that warmth through to your bones, through to your heart center. And allow your breath to amplify that warmth, that light. Sending that feeling through your whole body. Tune in to any part of the body that may be asking for a little extra attention. Where the attention
flows, the energy goes. Channel positive energy to the parts of your body that just need a little extra healing at this time. Breathe into that space. As you exhale, release any tension, any pain. Filling your body with positive energy. Releasing your body of anything that doesn't serve you. Now when you feel ready, allow your breath to become a little noisier in your body. Feel yourself once more taking up space within this room. Notice the connection of your body within this space. If you're laid down, through the back of your body. If you're seated, through your sit bones. Feel your connection with the earth beneath you. Regrounding. Take a deep breath in through the nose and noisier breath out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose, then release the exhalation with an audible sigh. Now begin to return sensation to the body here. Start with little movements, wiggling fingers and toes. Then perhaps take a long stretch or hug the knees to the chest. If you're laid on your back, find your way back to a seated position. With all the animals in the zoo happy, content. In the hands to Anjali Mudra. Literally, they're coming out from everywhere. Touch to the head for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and to the heart for kind intentions. The light in me honours the light in you. Namaste. And for our furry friends, meow and woof woof.